And we're going, and fade up, and this is the this is the Stanley Kubrick special, and I think my friend's right about the mic. It needs to be on a stand. I think I was hitting off a bunch of things. I think so. I've cleared the space up, and maybe this will work. Um, It is ambitious, I've got to say, to do all the Stanley Kubrick. That's pretty ambitious. Let's just get started here. Fear and Desire, 1952. Now this is the one. This is the one that I tried to watch it once. It was very, very difficult to get hold of it. Like 10, 15 years ago, and I tried. I did get hold of it, but the quality was terrible, and I didn't watch very much of it. I was just like, oh no, no, you can't watch it if the quality's terrible. So I didn't. So Killer's Kiss, 1955. This one I definitely saw, and I think Kubrick did a documentary about boxing, and so that's why this one is about a boxer. And I just remember really that towards the end of the movie, there's like a kind of chase sequence, and the character ends up in like a warehouse and there's tons of so I think they're called mannequins, and suddenly you could see that incredible Stanley Kubrick photography, like his style, just it was there, right? There right in front of you, and it's like, aha, there we go. I do remember that. Because I'm watching it after I've seen, all the other ones, and I'm going, so, I think, and The Killing as well. The Killing, I was watching it. I was checking out the older ones. So, I guess we jump to The Killing. The Killing is so that's a very kind of like a straight. Let's see if there's anybody. Oh, there is somebody there. Right. This is where I kind of fall apart again. The Killing. The Killing is some kind of a heist movie, I think, but I can't remember it very clearly. Paths of Glory is a really great one, and this is the movie where Kubrick meets his wife. She's like an actress at the end of the movie, and we've got Kirk Douglas, and of course Kirk Douglas is always great, and it's World War One, and it's the trenches, and we've got these Kubrick like long takes and just incredible photography, and it's a really, I do recommend it. I absolutely recommend it. You've got to put aside those some people some people just really frustrate me. They won't watch black and white, but it is in black and white, and it's a stunningly it's a really good movie, like all around good movie. We lost that person. Oh god. Right, so, Spartacus. So Spartacus is where Spartacus is a movie that apparently Stanley Kubrick kind of he took over, or it was something where the director had to leave, and Kubrick had to be suddenly he was in charge of it, but it was, and so he felt that it wasn't really his movie, and but it's a great one, you know, and I think it's interesting to note here that these movies are kind of PG, and they are PG all the way, or even I think 2001 is a like a universal. I think it's general audience they call it here. You know, they're all sort of friendly until you get to Clockwork Orange. Anyway, so Spartacus, he I think considers is not. I think he considered was not his. I need to really research this, don't I? Then, Spartacus, Lolita, and as I'm not as like I don't like Lolita as much as some of the others. But it does have three incredible scenes with Peter Sellers, and Peter Sellers is just incredible in it. He's clearly the best thing in it. I think I heard a story about how James Mason was feeling like over what's the word, like out acted by Peter Sellers. I think that's a true story. And I mean goodness, but Peter Sellers in Lolita is amazing and definitely worth checking that out. And then you get to Doctor Strangelove in 1964, which is definitely one of his best movies. This might even be his best movie. If we had to pick one, if you had to forced to pick one at gunpoint, which one would it be? And I think I would go with Doctor Strangelove. And you know, and it's also PG and comes out in 1964, and it's just brilliant, you know, and Peter Sellers is brilliant in it, and it even has what's he called? Darth Vader is in it, and it's kind of like a parody on, or a parody on Failsafe. I don't know if Failsafe was. Let's check that out. 1964 is Failsafe. We'll just see if Failsafe was made before it. And then 1964. What did I say for 1964? Wow, yeah, they're made in the same year. But that doesn't help me, does it? Which one came first? Henry Fonda, Walter Matthau. That might be that's probably worth checking out. 8.0. Wow. I do love Walter Matthau, so I mean I should really watch. Oh whoa! It just. Oh boy. It looks like something happened to force it to. Oh dear. Wait, did it? Did we cut out or did we not cut out? Apparently, we didn't cut out. It was telling me I cut out. I don't know if I'm on or not. Hello? Oh, look. Tax evasion. What's your favorite movie out of these? So if am I live at the moment? Because I kind of cut out. It said that it was over, and I'm on. Yeah. So out of all of these, I was just saying that if I was held at gunpoint, and they were forcing me to give a to my favorite would have to be, so it's either Doctor Strangelove or, oh, I don't know, The Shining. I really love The Shining, but I love Doctor Strangelove and Full Metal Jacket. It's hard. It's really it's really hard to pick a favorite, because he was so good and so perfectionist. I mean, and the photography is just so stunning in all of them. You know, I mean, but it's not just the photography; it's the editing, it's the ugh. And of course, the choice of Jack Nicholson as the actor choices were very, very good, and the music choices were great. So I it's which is your favorite one? Which is your favorite? Yeah. So I'm just about to talk about 2001: Space Odyssey. It was made in 1968, and this is a movie that my dad went to see at the movie theater 3 times, and he dragged my mother there for the first one, and she thought it was horrible. She thought it was the most boring thing she'd ever seen. but I um But I would imagine that it must have been, if you were like really into your hard science fiction, or I mean 1968, that must have been extraordinary to see at the time. I do know there was a writer. Um, if you watch the documentary Stanley Kubrick's Boxes, which I highly recommend that. It's absolutely brilliant. There's a writer in there who apparently he loved all the Kubrick movies, and then when he got to 2001: Space Odyssey, he was very disappointed. I mean, I get it was drastically different from everything that had come before it. It was like there was like a crossover line in this where you go from Doctor Strangelove to 2001, and then everything after that is, well, it's all in color for one thing, but it's like just like a shift, I guess. Like he I don't know if you can say he changed his style, but I guess it's more. It's like there's less dialogue. I don't know. So, okay, I've only seen Full Metal Jacket out of these. Oh wow, what did you what did you think of Full Metal Jacket? I mean, it's a great one. Uh, okay, so we then go from wait. We then he then goes and does he directs Clockwork Orange in 1971, and this is the where things get, I guess, controversial because because it's got some kind of awkward things going on in there, and he pulls it out of the cinemas, and because there was a copycat case going on in real life, and so he himself banned it. But when I was so around about 2000, I think it was actually, they unbanned it, and it was, I guess it was more or less just after he died. And I went and I saw it at the movie theater, and there was like only two other people in there, and I thought it was really, I definitely felt that I'd experienced something quite extraordinary, and I think it was round about then I saw it, and that's the only one that I managed to see at the cinema, movie theater. So it was good, but I really only remember up until the bathroom scene. That's right. It does change. It's a movie that changes about. It feels like it changes about 3 times, because you've got the first part is the training of the soldiers, and then it jumps to the war itself, and it kind of goes like, it's like we're experiencing like a documentary crew making a like they're making a movie about the war, and then at the end there you're sort of with them in the actual war itself. It's kind of broken up. So then Barry Lyndon, which he famously films with just all these candles, and he gets a special camera made from is it NASA maybe, and the movie is a bit like looking at paintings, like old classical paintings, and it's made in 1975. You see now the gaps started to get bigger and bigger. Yeah, the gaps in between movies start to get bigger and bigger, and you whereas at the beginning there he was like making like sort of one a year, and then I guess it was like, yeah, and then there were smaller gaps of like 2 years, and then it just gets longer and longer. But we'll go into that. I'll go into that in a little bit. I'm not really sure what to say about Barry Lyndon. It's got a cameo with Leonard Rossiter, and I'm just looking in the chat room to see if anybody says anything more. But I do want to say, if you're still here, tax evasion, then thank you for being in the chat room. So I'm communicating. So Barry Lyndon is a little bit. It's I guess it's a little bit like There Will Be Blood in a sort of. And I always felt that There Will Be Blood is quite Kubrickian. It's a word in the dictionary. Kubrickian. It's Adam from NRS. Oh wow. Oh, hello, Adam. That changes a lot of things. Okay, you should. I wonder which Kubrick you should see next. Let's see. Oh, he has to. Adam, you've got to see The Shining. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, I actually I actually applied for a job as housekeeping, but they I'll watch that one next. Yeah, it's really good. The Shining. Uh, And even I think if you like Interstellar, then 2001 Space Odyssey would be I think you would like that too. Yeah. If you like do you like movies where there's not much dialogue for long periods of time? I don't know if they did that in Interstellar, but um I, I don't know. It's been a while since I saw Interstellar. But so we go to uh The Shining, which is 1980, so it's like a year before I was born. And it's funny because there's things like corduroy in there, and yeah, he has a. Is his jacket? Is it red corduroy? I think it might be. But I love. But here's the thing: I really love corduroy. So let's see. Let's see. I got this really painful. Like my hand is holding on to this, and it's just starting to really hurt. Man. But we had problems with the mic. The mic was making this clicking sound. Really, I need one of those. You know, I need like a Joe Rogan mic stand. He's funny though. I like the way he sort of he moves the mic. Or he kind of you can tell that Joe Rogan is trying super hard not to touch the touch the microphone. Um, The Shining, so it's kind of, I mean, it's a sort of suspense thriller with a bit of horror in there, but not really like today's horror, but you're going to get incredible photography and incredible editing, and of course the performance from Jack Nicholson is great. And there's another man there, Scatman Crothers, who's also really great. And the little boy as well is he's entertaining, and and it's just got that, you know, it's got that I actually showed it to my brother-in-law and he didn't like it. Uh yeah, he didn't like the movie. There's multiple versions of the movie. There's like an American version and then like a European version, and they're quite different. So I remember telling him this at the end, and he was like, "Ah, maybe that's it. Well, maybe the I can't remember which version I showed him, but he thought that maybe the other version he would like it better. So, but when I'll watch that one. But I do have to go. When are you going to stream again? Oh, well, I'm streaming. So I'm streaming pretty much every night now. Yeah. Yeah, we did. I do all kinds of things, and but I mean, I haven't. The YouTube channel was dead for like maybe a year, like almost a year or something, and so I just started up again, and it could it could go dead again, you know, like because life seems to be quite It seems to change quite rather a lot at the moment. But yeah. But I thought that tonight would be the Kubrick special. Just watched. Come and see. Okay, I don't know what that means, but so then we then go to goodness. So the gap in between The Shining and Full Metal Jacket is 7 years. I think that might be where he was trying to make his Napoleon movie, but that's because he tried. So so he wanted to make a Napoleon movie. Yeah, he wanted to make a Napoleon movie, but another movie came out called Waterloo, which is a really great movie. And I don't know what happened, whether, like, I still don't know what happened, but he just decided to just kill the project. Something happened, and the project got. And Stanley Kubrick would spend like 4 years making a movie, doing like the research. He was heavily into doing the research, and we. Soviet movie. Oh, right. So there's a Soviet movie called Come and See. Doctor Strangelove is my top 5 all time. Well, that is wait that is fantastic. It's me. It's mine too. I think I would put it in my top 5 all time. Um, it's just so good, so good, so very good. So what do you think of The Shining? Hmm. There's like it's almost like I encountered somebody once who was they were very upset, and I think it's because you've got Clockwork Orange and full Eyes Wide Shut, and that sort of like it's like that upset people like hugely, and it's like, but you've got to look at the whole thing, and I mean, he was there's a lot of movies here, and uh, I don't know. I'm not sure what to say on it, but I did, and so when I encounter a bit of criticism, I do try to like attack it or go at it logically, and tell them, that he did all this other stuff. I mean, Spartacus. So I think he believed though that Spartacus was not his movie, but it's so. Spartacus is a good one. Uh, don't know. So, and I mean, is Full Metal Jacket is I would say his like it's like the best Vietnam war movie that you can find. Apart from, I guess, like the next one would be Apocalypse Now. You know, um, and then we get to the next controversial one in his final film. So there's a big gap of like, what's that? It's basic math there, isn't it? It's like 12 years? 12 years, I think. From what I understand, he had another incident where he had put something like 3 or 4 years into doing a Holocaust movie, a World War II Holocaust movie, and then Schindler's List came along, and then they pulled the They decided he somebody, probably him himself, decided to pull the plug on it. So I always think that was a bit of a shame that we didn't get that, because that would have been super interesting, but we didn't. So, you know, uh, so yeah, that takes us to the very end there. I should have put some more stuff on the list. Eyes Wide Shut, which is very controversial because there's some stuff in there that's a bit controversial. So, but it's just trying to think here. It's Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, and it's a sort of like a kind of, we call it like a murder mystery kind of thing, and there's like a cult in it, and it's just, I thought it was really gripping, and I think it's really quite good, and it's got some like weird music in it. That's really Kubrick's music choices are just so good, and I guess you're either like a fan of Kubrick, or you aren't. So um, I was going to say that we could talk about the documentary Stanley Kubrick's Boxes, which is like a must-see documentary if you're a fan of Kubrick, and it's just this guy who is kind of given access, although I think he maybe has to have like somebody showing him around, but we get to see that Kubrick had all these, like, I don't know how many boxes, but he was very organized with the research and the memorabilia of I wonder if holding the microphone at the side like that is actually causing problems. It might. So it's just a fascinating documentary because he gets hold of all these people who worked with Kubrick, and it's definitely worth checking out. There's now 5 people. The Shining was my introduction to Kubrick, and from there I saw almost all of them. Yes, I think that I think that might have been the same with me. The Shining was like the first, like definitely one of the first ones that I saw, and and I just kept going back to watching The Shining because it was just so like it was a bit like, for me anyway, it was kind of like watching Jaws. You just couldn't take your eye off it, and Jaws has that effect as well. It's it's just one of those things. So I was going to say, I kind of also like to talk about movies that remind me of Kubrick. I don't know how people feel about me doing that, but in my opinion, Doctor Strangelove 2001, Orange, the Shining. Oh, my elbow is killing me. I'm sitting at a funny angle, so I can get my head at the right the right thing for this. I was going to say that if you want some movies that I personally feel or on like a level of Kubrick quality, then I would recommend There Will Be Blood, and also a Fritz Lang movie called, so is it called M? I think it might be called M. I need to kind of I should have been more prepared, but I'll see if I can. I'll fact check that right now and see if I can. Here. And if you watch M, I think it's called. Yeah, it is called M, and it's made in 1931, and it's directed by Fritz Lang. And when I was watching this, I was very, like, I just thought, oh, this is very Kubrick, you know? And this has got to be where Kubrick, he must have got his inspiration. He must have got his inspiration from Fritz Lang's M. I mean, I don't know, I might be, I might be full of, full of it, but it does look a bit like that. So I would say I would recommend watching M, and I would also, and the next recommendation kind of probably gets down to whether you like racing, driving, but so it's by Frankenheimer. He's called. Sorry about the show. It's kind of falling apart a little bit. It's a live show, and they're kind of Frankenheimer. No, that's not happening. There's a movie made in 1966, and I think it's very Kubrickian, and it's called Grand Prix, and it's directed by John Frankenheimer, who's actually a really it's James Garner, and they strapped cameras to the strapped cameras to the cars, and so it's all like real footage, and it's just beautiful photography of racing driving. And there hasn't really been another movie like that. I still think it's the best car racing driving movie. So, and then there's another one. I just got another one that I want to mention, which I think is. So at the moment, if you're just coming into this, I'm recommending movies that I feel are Kubrickian, and there's one, and I believe it's called Rafifi. Uh-oh. I think it's a Howard Hawks. Oh boy. Okay, so Hatari is what it's called. Oh wow, that's what it's called. It's called Hatari, and it's made in 1962. See, that's kind of what's going on here. Is I think all the movies that I'm kind of are reminding me of Kubrick seems to be from the color movies from the 60s. The 60s is a kind of special, I believe it's a kind of special time for movies. And let's see now. I mean, don't you think that's the case? It's a special time for movies. I mean, look at it there. I mean, that's where Doctor Strangelove comes out of the whole situation. The 60s and 2001 Space Odyssey. But yeah, the you got this Hatari, and if you haven't heard of that, it also has a lot of cameras mounted to vehicles, and just like a lot of realism in it. The funny thing is, though, is that Kubrick. So I thought, so he liked to build things. Like apparently, the inside of the hotel in The Shining is all a set, and that kind of messed with me a bit. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, there are scenes in 2001 where it's out. We're outside. It's rocky, and it's all a set. Because he had full control with the creating what we call it, like a fake sun, and then it doesn't move. Because I know I've experienced this problem. So that's 41 minutes. We're at 42 minutes. I can't remember. I think if anybody has any questions, now would be the time to do it. Howard Hawks seems to be. They've got him down, famous for Red River, Rio Bravo, El Dorado, and To Have and Have Not. I need to catch up on my Howard Hawks. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. I knew somebody who actually owned. Well, I don't know if they owned the building. Maybe I think they might have, though. But she owned the costume shop that is in Eyes Wide Shut, and she actually knew Stanley Kubrick. So I was I should have, I would really like to talk to her now. But yeah, I knew somebody who knew Stanley Kubrick. I knew somebody. It's not quite the same as I knew somebody who knew somebody. It's like it's only one step away from it. But was Kubrick crazy, or did he was very much perfectionist, and I think I better go now because I think I better. The viewers though keep going up, and like I was at 5 at one point. That's very unusual for me. Very, very unusual. And his relationship with Peter Sellers, I think they liked to play like table tennis together, and it's a shame they didn't work. That he didn't work with him for like a third time, but I guess he did stuff in those cameos with Leonard Rossiter. But that would have been really interesting, wouldn't it? If like Leonard Rossiter had been the main, the main star of a Kubrick movie. I think that would. I honestly think that would have worked. I think he would have been brilliant. It's these comedians seem to be very very good at serious acting. Um, I think it's because of all the tragedy in their life. They can yeah. So they I think that's what it is. Uh, I do have a little bit of information about Fear and Desire because I had a look on the IMDb page, and it said it had been restored for like a 4K, uh you know, whatever the format is for that. Is that Ultra? And but I also know that Kubrick tried to like have all the copies of that movie destroyed, and so it's not that's I still haven't seen it, and I'm kind of curious now. I saw like a little trailer for it on there, and it looked super crisp and it looked very detailed, and it might be worth checking out now that they've got it so clear. But Kubrick also wanted it destroyed. Some it's kind of I guess they're just cashing in. Uh, Anything to get more cash, and like unbanning Clockwork Orange just after he died. So yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it for the moment, and I might come back with another live show tonight, and we'll do something like I want to do Wallace and Gromit. I kind of want to do Wallace and Gromit, all 6 movies. Yes. Okay. So that's all for now, and see you in the next one.